Okay, guys, welcome so much to SMARTGEO Africa. I'm your host, Joseph Muru, a student at the Technical University of Kenya. Now, today what we want to learn is 7 GIS processing tool every GIS analyst should know. Now, if you are a student pursuing a GIS course, there are these 7 tools that you ought to know, you ought to understand how they do. And the purpose of this tutorial is just to give you a brief summary of the 7 tools. Then later on I will upload tutorials that show you how to do every tool. Now before I proceed much, please remember to subscribe to my channel, remember to share this video and like the video also. And at the end of the day, in between this tutorial or this presentation, there will be some questions that I will require you to answer at your own pressure. So the 7 GIS processing tools are as listed: the buffer tool, the clip tool, the match tool, dissolve tool, intersect tool, union tool, erase or difference tool. Now these tools are very vital for any GIS student or GIS expert because they are going to simplify your work. They are going to help you organize your work very well. So right away, let's go to the first tool. One of the tools that you'll be using is called the buffer tool. Now I may not be reading whatever it is that I've written there, but just showing you an examples of how to use these tools. Now, assuming the Ministry of Health wants to set a hospital somewhere, maybe in Garissa, and they have set a standard or a protocol that says a hospital should serve, or people working to that hospital should not be at a distance greater than 3 kilometers. Now, to get that area surrounding the hospital, which is 3 kilometers, that's what is called buffer. So in other words, you are making a polygon around a set around a feature, so that now we can get the next place to establish another hospital. As I've shown in the image below, you can see this may be, assuming this is the hospital, and then we want to say this is a 3 kilometer distance from the hospital. That means at this point we need another hospital somewhere that will cover this other area that it doesn't have a hospital. Now the clip tool. The clip tool, one of the best examples that I can give you is, assume you have a data set for Africa, the entire continent of Africa, and you are a GIS analyst located or situated in Nigeria, and you are doing a project within Nigeria. So the data set that you need for the project is that of Nigeria county, but you have the entire data set for African countries. So by the clip tool, you are able to remain with the Nigeria country map or data set for Nigeria. So that's what is meant by clip tool. As you can see, it's the overlay function that cuts out an input layer with the extent of the defined feature boundary. So you just want Nigeria, there you got Nigeria. Then we have the match tool. Now the match tool is just as the word says, combining the data set. It can be point, lines, and polygon. Now assuming you are in Zimbabwe, okay, assuming that you are Zimbabwe, or let's say Mozambique, and we have the provinces of Mozambique, we have the Gaza, we have another province called Maputo, we have another province by the name of Inhabane. Now these are two different provinces or sub-provinces within Mozambique that border each other. Now assuming you have different data set for each of these towns, the Gaza, these provinces, the Gaza, Maputo, and Inhabane, and you want to work with the entire, you want to work with these three provinces at a go. So by the match tool, you are able to combine this different data set to have one data set that has got all the attributes for each individual data set. So at the end of the day, when you merge data set, you will have one feature that contains that attributes for each of the features that you have merged. Okay, I think that's better. The dissolve tool, okay, the dissolve, just to go back on the match tool, I have a question here for you, and please engage me on this. The question says, how is merging different to append? Append is another tool that is not widely used but very vital. So maybe you can give the difference between the merging, difference between the merging and the append tool. That's a question for you. Now dissolve tool. Now dissolve tool, it unifies boundaries based on common attribute value. Okay, now if I can just take you back to the provinces in Mozambique. Now assuming, now we did merging and we had these three different provinces but with the boundaries with it. Now assuming that they share some particular attribute, they have common attribute, and we want now to call them maybe the northern provinces of Mozambique, because they are on the lower part of Mozambique. So you want to call them, maybe the name that they have is the northern Mozambique. That's the common attribute they share. So by dissolving, or by using the dissolve tool, you are able to now remove the boundaries that boundaries Gaza and Inhabane and Gaza and Maputo. You dissolve it, or you remove the boundary to remain only with the north, or I mean the southern part. So maybe you can call it now the southern provinces of Mozambique. That's how the dissolve tool is being used. The union tool, okay, the union tool, let's go to agriculture. Let's get an example from the agriculture viewpoint. Now assuming you are doing agriculture for maize, and you have identified the conducive, the requirement for maize growth that will make it grow well, and from the little research I did, I understood that it requires a pH value of 6 to 7.2. The temperature should be 26 to 27 degrees. Any soil will do, but assuming for this case that it requires loam soil, and you have done your research on this piece of land that you have, and you have identified locations that have got these features, this attribute that favors the growth of maize. Now by the union, when you use the union tool, what you'll be doing, you will be combining this, the finding, you'll be combining areas that has got this attribute, that the soil is loam, another area that has got a pH value of 6 to 7.2, and another area that has got a temperature of 26 to 27 degrees. Now that is what we called the union. Intersect tool. So let me just take you again to the example that I've given you about the piece of land that we have. Now assuming we have a very large, maybe 1 acre of land, and we want to identify the best place we can plant maize and other crops. So when you intersect, you want to find a place that shares these attributes, a place that has got loam soil, a place that has got a pH value of 6 to 7.2, and a place that has got a temperature between 26 and 27 degrees. So you are intersecting similar, the area shares those attributes that you are interested in. So the result that you will get is a region within your shamba or within your garden that has got this attribute, and that's the best place for you to plant your maize. Another question for you: the difference between clip tool and the intersect tool. What is the difference between the two? Please answer me in the comment section, and that will be very fast. Now the erase tool, this is another feature that we can relate with the intersect and the union tool. Now again, on the same piece of land, remember we have identified this region that has got that is favorable for growing maize. Now assuming another person has come and he says, I want the area that is not conducive for planting maize, so that we can do further studies on what crop to grow at that area. So we realize that you don't need the data for all the region that is conducive for maize. So by the erase tool, or using the erase tool, what we'll be doing in that big piece of land, 1 acre, then you remove that area that supports or is conducive to the growth of maize, so that you remain with the other region or other areas in the same shamba that is not conducive to the growth of maize. So those are the seven geoprocessing tools that I just wanted to know. Please do note that I will be uploading tutorials for each tool that we have learned how to do it using your software, and it will be a very engaging session. Please, if you feel that a particular tool need to be uploaded soonest, let me know in the comment section and I will upload it to you. And also engage me with the questions that I've asked to get to know the level of GIS knowledge that we have as my subscriber. Please always remember to subscribe to my video channel, like the video, share the video with others. And I have a challenge that I'm going to give. If I hit 200 subscribers, I will upload all the 7 GIS tool or geoprocessing tools at once, so that we can have it all if I get 200 subscribers. Thank you so much. See you in the next tutorials now.